Thank you, Aiko. What a great perspective this was on a very important culture that even in Japan we have to often work with people in Silicon Valley. And it's important to recognize what are the differences that other cultures have. How are people working? How are they engaging with one another? And then what do we need to do from the Japan side to work more effectively with those people? So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about some of the core issues in Japan that make it difficult to sometimes engage with the types of situations that Aiko described to us. So let's come back at let's take a short 5-minute break. And when we come back, I'd like us to move into different groups. So I'm going to give you a number. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This will be table 1, table 2, table 3. So let's move around and get into a different group. So we're discussing with different people. Okay, so this is the basic theme, right? How old, how behind the times, what are the challenges that we see with Japanese management? And how does it make it difficult to work with other organizations and other cultures? And this process is going to be a workshop. This is not a presentation. And some of you may be familiar with Edward de Bono's 6 hats process. We're going to use this tonight, right? The white hat is when we're sharing information. That'll be one of the first things that we're doing. Red is when we talk about what our reaction is. What do we think? What do we feel? Yellow is when we say something positive, right? We look for the positive of what we're talking about. That's the focus. Black is the other side of that, where we say, okay, what's the problem here? What's the concern? Right, so we separate these issues. Green is for brainstorming, coming up with ideas. Right? And then blue is what I'm doing right now, which is to explain the process. Okay? So I will be guiding us through the process. I would like to have as much discussion as possible. So we have 3 groups here. Each group will be responsible for coming up with issues and items and ideas that can be shared with all of us. And we'll have to do this pretty quickly, so I'll assign some time for each topic and then ask for a very quick report back on what you've discussed. And we'll try and get as many ideas coming out as we possibly can. And the idea is, what is it about management, Japanese management, that we find challenging, that doesn't work? Right? That it doesn't allow for flexibility. It doesn't allow for all of the things that Aiko was talking about earlier. It makes it challenging to issue those things. And we want to begin with sharing, I've just explained what we're going to do today, sharing what it is we know in our groups. Right? And I have an example. It's great to tell examples of your stories that you have. In the very first Japanese company that I worked for, I worked in the sales department. And it was all Japanese, and there was a sales manager, and he was this middle-aged gentleman that was always really confident where he was sitting. And he had the absolute final decision about anything related to the sales that our team would do. And there was and I was like, well, you know everything, this is great, please, I want to learn from you, train me up. And then I realized, looking back, that this guy was a beast. He had everything under his control. He did not want other people influencing his team. He did not want to open up to other challenges, to changes. Because for him, that would require more effort from him. And he was really, really good with his team. And it was a situation that was averse to any kind of change, averse to any new strategy, any new policy, any new approach. That's the experience that I had. So let's take 5 minutes at your table. That's only 5 minutes, so be quick. And talk about the experiences you've had with Japanese managers or managers that you found challenging. Does anybody have a question? Okay. 5 minutes, begin.
Okay. I will start. So one of my first jobs in a Japanese company was customer. This is in Silicon Valley. and customer needed components, and it was late in the afternoon,
I have
and
very
it was
good
urgent.
hearing. I
So
applied
I said,
for my
I'll contact the factory in Japan directly on your behalf, and took care of it within 10 minutes. Everything was good. But my boss, who's Japanese, we were about the same age. He was in 20s, I was in my 20s. He was really upset with me because I did not go through him to contact the factory. So it was a chain of communication. Because then the factory owner called him and said, "Oh, I got this request. It's not from you. It's from your direct report." You know, so we got into a big argument actually, because I said the important thing is customer satisfaction. Customer is happy.
really similar experience.
For you, the important thing is hierarchy and proper chain of communication. So we actually had a big argument. And
Actually,
then by the end of the day, you know, we came back together and we straightened things out. But very tense. And it was very shocking to me because I thought the important thing was customer service, not communication.
it's not like she's doing it
You
in
guys have any
so that we
stories?
can think of it while you
Oh, okay.
It's just
Well,
that
you
we
may
the
soon.
basic information that you need
How was-
to
how
know to
about
complete the task.
In your
She
current
wouldn't
company
share.
or?
I have too many
Because
problems.
once we become,
Uh-huh.
I guess
Before I
I'm
came here, I heard a lot.
but once we become,
work problem, because the workload is easy to
once we are going to be able
Yes.
to do the task,
I can't
she's
even
afraid
go
of
back to home.
Yes.
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 I worked very
So
hard.
that happens quite a
Of
lot.
course, I need to translate all the things from Japanese to Chinese and Japanese to English. I work in the investor relation department. So, besides all these words, I also have some, because the president, he will take me to do some business trip about the investigation of the hotel. So after the investigation, I will
Something that I've always been doing.
So in just 1 week, I need to trade, maybe, for example, I need to translate 4,000 characters.
2.5 more minutes.
To English and or things like that. So I work so hard, I even come to
Oh, so they
understand
keep
it.
everyone
In
in there.
the morning I report that I have a seminar at 7 o'clock, so I need to
And from the boss who said that it's really open and so on.
So the
is that
person
he
who
has been
knows
moved
my
that
schedule.
role, and that's why
After I nearly finished the job, but after the 1 hour, only 1 hour left for my work hour, some people have me draft. You need to prepare for this. But also, obviously, the work is, I can't finish in 1 hour.
In Indonesia, I have
So
seen
I
this a
have to
lot.
iterate.
For Japanese companies,
So
they
you
build
need to
for
finish
Japanese
it
companies.
today, so you must finish it. I say
Almost
that,
experience, never
but
know.
you have
So they're just together,
some
hanging out
meeting,
together, and
then
they
I
all
have a 3-hour
the same
meeting,
way.
Yes.
which is not told before.
And then like,
Right.
Before I schedule these
Right.
things.
Yes.
Also, she handed me a draft.
And foreigners
She know
don't
that
even
I
know
need to leave
either, but it's actually right.
after
Because
1 hour,
it's
but she do things like that. So it's very, I can't understand the situation.
It's sensitive.
Why they just consider the results. They don't care about what kind of situation you're facing.
Yeah, the focus is
About another minute.
on the work situation, not outside. And of course, you know, we are professionals, we want to do a good job, but it cannot be that way 100%
My
of the
situation
time.
is that our owner,
Sometimes,
he's
you
not,
know,
doesn't care
sometimes,
about the opportunity.
your child is
He's
sick,
never
you have
there.
to go home.
He's a rock
Yeah,
star.
I've
He's
seen
very,
such a
very famous for
situation.
that. Super famous.
And
He's on
yeah,
TV,
I've had that
all the time.
experience many
And I
times.
can go
Even,
How to develop it,
even
but never change.
Yeah,
my very
that's
first
my
job
boss.
in Japan, working for
and my friend, my brother, right.
in Japan.
So,
They
he's
have
not
that
there, so I
As
have
you
to
translate
son.
many
office.
similar
But
situations with
nobody
that.
wants
Like,
to,
this is
they're
work.
so scared of him,
All that
so they
other
don't want to say
stuff.
yes or no.
And
They
you feel
just
that-
Yeah.
nothing
And
happens
cannot be that way.
until it
Just
comes, because they don't want to take any decision in case
Okay, about 30 more seconds. Make sure everybody has a chance to share.
Certain some character from Chinese to Japanese to Chinese in one night. So that night I can't sleep. For 5 minutes I can't sleep.
And it's not sustainable. You
Owner,
cannot do that every year.
like, yeah, it's
You'll
like
get
dog.
sick or you'll be sick.
They care about deadline.
Yeah.
They hang out before deadline if they can't.
There's a website I
Yes.
use.
That's their conclusion. Their way of thinking about it.
And also,
Okay, about 20 more seconds. Start to wrap up your
there's no
discussion,
planning
please.
involved.
Okay,
Like,
good.
for witness request, instead of, wait a minute, you already have some tasks, you already have a meeting tonight, and then negotiating back to the customer, that's 2 days instead of, oh yeah, we do that.
Okay, so stop for just a moment. This is a good conversation. We want to keep the discussion going. Now, focus more on what you feel are the biggest problems. What are the biggest challenges with Japanese management, Japanese managers? What are the issues that we need to address with these people? How do we develop them? How do we change them? How do we want them to change? Where do we want them to go? Okay? Each table now has a piece of paper. Nominate someone at your table
There you
to
go.
take notes and list up the key issues that Japanese managers need to address in terms of becoming better at communicating, better at opening up and working in cross-cultural environments.
Yeah, I would say it depends a lot on the
Thinking ahead,
objective.
planning.
In order to open up and be more flexible,
But
as Aiko was describing earlier, being more flexible in
Planning.
dealing with
Also, I
outside
would
changes.
say,
So the problem,
focus
the
on
biggest problem and
strategy
the solution to.
instead of tasks.
To become more flexible, to be more
Because I think
accessible
you will agree,
to
many
the
Japanese
international
managers
market,
focus
open and
on
better at responding
rather
to.
than
See,
a
that's
goal.
for me very different
So they will
topics.
tell you, I want you to
Like,
do this
if
thing
they
this
want
way
to
and this
be,
way and this way,
like,
instead
You
of,
know, adapting to
say,
the international arena.
I want you to come up with this
What's the
product
goal?
or whatever,
If they want to collaborate with
you
us,
figure out how to
that's
get to that.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
From all perspectives
They
are
don't
fine.
care about it.
But what are the biggest challenges? What are the biggest changes that you want to see?
That's the work.
Probably,
You should do.
define.
Let's take 3 minutes for this discussion.
I mean, in order to identify a problem,
alright.
you need to identify what you're having a problem with.
Yeah.
I feel
So
it's very,
we
very
can
hard.
You have to find
Yes.
objective.
We
It's,
can
yeah,
probably set
It's alright,
Yeah.
biggest problem.
it's very, very task oriented. Do these things.
I have it, yeah, in case that's great.
And
So,
sometimes
for
it's
example, because I
so,
found like,
it's so
when we
detailed,
were
it's
open
like,
up, like
we
we
could
use
save
Trello
time
now,
if
like
you
because
just
in
do it.
the old
Because
times, last year, for
you keep
example,
checking
I had
and
problems getting
checking
my
and
Japanese
checking.
My handwriting is
employees.
also.
Yeah,
Why
I
they needed it
feel
done. For example, I said there's a deadline, you have to have the
You know,
video
you're
done
checking
2 weeks
these
from
things.
now,
I know what to do.
right? The day came and the video's not ready.
So there's never room
So,
No.
but no, my
There's very little
answer,
room for
Oh,
you
you're
to-
right, I am the boss in this case. and I'm
Right.
the boss. So how do I get that person to do
The
what I
problem
want them to do?
is when you start dealing with the outside world,
Right, there needs
which
to be a
does things more that way,
So then I go to my
when
boss
people
and ask for
ask you
advice.
for your opinion
Like,
during
how
the
do I
meeting,
handle this?
you go, I don't know.
So we're talking about
Because
accountability.
I'm used to thinking for
Yeah,
myself.
actually productivity.
And the problem
Good,
is
that's
is
good.
that
So
in
like how do
many
you deal with
global
that in the Japanese
situations,
first place?
the Japan team is
Because
too
like
quiet.
I have never like
So
like
the
in,
other
that's
team
communication,
from
right? In any other
They're
country
very
almost, you
certain.
go and ask your colleague,
So they
like,
say,
you
I
know,
think
can you
this,
help me
I
finish
think
this?
that.
Or you
And
ask your
then
boss, like,
they
in this case me,
control the
what do you
conversation.
want me to do? Because I
And
don't understand the problem.
That's not
Let's
necessarily
say
good
he's
thing
supposed to
because
do a
everybody
video.
has good.
And he doesn't know how to do
Everybody
the
has
subtitles, for example,
But too
or
many times
he doesn't have a
it's
translator.
quiet.
So if this would have been in the States, you would have
Because
just gonna
they're-
ask the boss,
They
like,
don't
hey,
have
what do
confidence
you
in the language.
do? But here,
But also
there's no
because
such
they're
communication.
not used to
Everybody has
it.
to.
Yes, well,
So
he did it
they're
last
saying,
time.
I
Don't
think
worry.
Or like you
No,
said,
we really
I think
taking
that's
turns.
wrong.
That kind
So
of
how
like
do you
thing,
solve that?
Which is becoming more important now.
Okay, we're not into the how we solve it
No,
yet.
no, but that is that.
They never
Well, yeah, we're not, this is where we're trying to talk about what's our gut reaction? What do we think are the biggest issues? Each person at the table, what do you think are the biggest issues, the biggest challenges?
So probably
I
when
don't
the
know.
deadline
This
is,
is a conventional way.
when the deadline
What do you
couldn't
think
meet
equals
because of,
experience?
It doesn't matter who's the boss here.
yeah.
What can they do to improve?
Yeah, basically comes
I'll
down to.
give you my card. If you want,
So
I
is
know,
it when there is a
several
miscommunication?
recruiters. If you
There's
really
no
are
communication.
looking
There's no
elsewhere.
communication, so how do you get things done when there's no
Yeah.
communication? That's the problem.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
I'm
a
a
key
bit
problem.
emotional
I
right
can,
now.
yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
the young people.
And then, yeah, send me an email here, then we can connect on like LinkedIn or via personal email. So, actually, let me write
Yeah,
it
I've
down
done that
here.
1,000 times. Every single meeting we talk about using Trello, and they didn't do that. They didn't read the book, they don't do it. They have to do it their way anyway. Then nobody asks for help.
Yeah, so
They
be
don't go and ask for
open-minded.
help.
So
Help
probably
them
Other
do it.
people
how
can.
to
So
ask for the
it's a
help.
A underscore
When it's real time,
so
yeah.
you don't take you
What is
and
this? This is
I got
how do
it.
you
So,
That's a management problem.
yeah.
I do have some.
I mean, like, do you feel this is a problem?
Flexibility.
It's just like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if your boss, if your
Yeah.
manager
Yeah.
tells you to do
Yeah,
something,
send it to this.
and you haven't done it
Yeah,
on
I will.
time,
I should share evenly.
that's for me.
Give one as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's get some feedback now. What did we identify as some of the, the key challenges, the key issues that Japanese managers need to be willing to change? What did you come up with at your table?
Strategic thinking versus task-oriented thinking.
Strategy versus
Big
task.
picture versus task.
Okay, what's another one? For a mini table.
We're talking about communication issues. that
Okay.
When there is no, like when you don't know how to do something, who do you ask?
Ah.
If the boss tells you do this and you don't know how to do it, what do you do?
Because a lot of times in Japanese organizations, they don't explain it.
Well, you can't go up, in this case it's actually a foreigner, me in the boss situation,
Uh-huh.
that my employee is not doing. But it's the same problem, there's no communication.
Okay.
He doesn't ask me, how do I do it, right? And I can't guess that he has a problem unless he tells me that there's a problem, so there's no up-down communication at all.
So that's also how do you ask, and you're talking about openness and honesty.
I would not stretch it that far.
Like accountability in the organization.
Communication, yes. like-
Communication.
And also, well, regarding the accountability, because, in Japanese companies, usually one person takes care of a lot of things, and the situation is the same when it comes to the upper position. So when you ask your boss about a specific thing,
Yes.
but the boss needs to escalate to other manager in other departments, and it takes time to actually get the answer. I had that kind of situation several times.
Right. So it's a complicated or confusing structure as well.
Right.
Yeah, and if your boss is a god, they treat the boss as god.
Right.
Then you
Right.
don't ask your boss anything.
Right. Good. What else? Thank you. What else?
Careful.
So we think we don't have enough experience.
What kind of
In
experience?
terms of like diversity and like the speed, which is becoming more important for the business world.
So they don't have enough experience, so they're too slow.
Slow and also like because since like they're Japanese, so they don't never experience like the multinationalism.
Okay, so they're not flexible with other cultures.
Not really open-minded.
Okay. Not open-minded. What else can we add? What else do we have?
Results-oriented versus process-oriented.
Yes.
Oh,
It's really common, yeah. Happens all the time.
sorry.
Good. What else can we add? Okay, so quickly at your table, run through this list and, take a vote. Which is going to be most important for you at your table? Right? If you're going to focus on brainstorming one of these, brainstorming solutions, what do you as a table want to focus on? And just get everybody's kind of feeling about what is most important, what's the biggest issue to work on.
Out of everything on the
These, unless you want to come up with another one, and if you do, let me know what it is.
I really like the result.
So let's take your example then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So take a minute and decide what you're going to
How
focus
do
on.
we
If you
like,
could
because,
change
I mean,
one
it
of
doesn't
these,
matter if I show,
what would have
I
the
even
biggest
show the
effect
boss
on
the
your
owner,
job?
like, we companies going negative numbers.
Without
We need to change the numbers, we can create profit. So, like, I want to see results, and they don't do so many things. I have to do this, and I have to do that.
So they still stick to
Okay.
the process.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, or like, now, like, because the boss over me is calling, so they cannot have
Okay,
it.
you decided? Have you guys decided?
Do you agree? Do you have any?
You all decided?
Yes, we're-
Okay, once you've decided, go into brainstorming.
What do you think?
Right? What ideas can you come up with that would help develop your manager in a way that they would overcome that problem? Right? Because this is brainstorming, every idea is okay. They don't need explanation, they don't need background, they don't need examples. We just want ideas, and everything is okay.
You're the boss.
Right? Send them to Honolulu for 3 months. Everything's okay. Let's take 3 minutes for brainstorming.
Okay, so how to
Could be our
get that?
business
But he doesn't, yeah, but he doesn't.
Oh,
It's just all
okay. I see.
Strategy.
Okay, so, so
I
what we
think
were talking about was
what-
process-oriented versus
if I could,
result-oriented, right?
like in your
And
situation,
even the result we
uh,
see is going to be definitely really fast.
to be able to
and
tell your boss,
that there is a boss who tends to stick with
you know,
the
let
current process.
Like be there on time,
Yeah,
more than what you do.
decide
Yeah.
how to
and
Yeah, we never hear
prioritize
changes.
your
But how do we make changes in that boss?
Yeah.
Brainstorm ideas. Talk about the vision.
Ask what is
I wish I
the
knew,
goal
then I would
here.
be
The
rich
goal
by
is
Brainstorm.
to get something translated.
Uncertainty of
Um,
regions, right? So if they have like
get out of that
So
uncertainty.
involve her in the planning.
Yeah,
Involves you in the planning. Right now, you're not involved in the planning. Something lands
But it
on your
doesn't work,
desk.
no.
Yeah, but then it doesn't work.
So
But
you
it
just
depends
kind
on
of
the goal,
see-
right? So
you
I
need
tried
to be
by
involved
solving
in
by
the
painting
planning.
a goal. That's
So
good.
that
If we
expectation
paint a
can be
goal
set
for
with the
everybody,
customer.
that would help.
So,
But it doesn't.
and then also having the power to deprioritize. So,
Yeah.
For example, when
We don't need more explanation.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good.
yeah.
You know, it's another idea.
Oh, okay.
So data would help.
So,
Yeah, that's a good one. Write it down. What's another idea?
Okay, so,
Yeah,
another
data.
idea.
yeah, and
Because that kind of alleviates the pressure.
Yeah, right.
user results.
Yeah,
And not
And
How do you do with your boss? Are you
you've tried hard and
Just
now
giving
you
you
maybe
do
it's the
something.
Japanese way, like,
Something only
Try
you
just
to
giving,
convince
not just involving you in the planning, but giving you
that person who is
freedom.
really close to,
So, I tell you
to your
You
boss.
mean the
What
wife
needs to
of
be
the
done?
CEO? Because it's the wife
Something
who
like,
runs
But it's up
it.
to
something
you
like
to
that,
decide
yeah.
how to get there.
Example, I mean, yeah.
I mean, but that's what a lot of my Japanese
So
friends
giving
say,
you
that
that
you want
freedom
change,
to decide how to do it.
affect the people around that
I think
person, like
also,
the wife or the
from
girlfriend.
the
Yeah, because we
Because,
have
Women has
to
more
You
much
know,
more
if I'm
power
involved
than
in
things.
saying,
Yeah, that's
do
what
this
we call
task, you
democracy.
should
Yeah,
make
it's
translation
a
this
little
way.
informal.
So like,
That's
they
it.
always record.
Because that's
Taking
another
up two
thing,
people's
right, for
time, my
Japan.
time,
You
your
have this
time.
public,
Lorenzo.
outlook.
And maybe you can see some
That's
other
what you
way
have,
of
like,
doing
you,
work.
for many people, I notice the same thing if I do
I don't know.
directions. If I go to one Japan person standing next to another and I ask for directions, they can't figure out. But if I go to you alone, no problem.
You mean like if you have two people, something
Like, yes, in a group, you don't get anybody speaking out, but if you want change, you go and it's very manipulative, kind of like sandbox.
Okay, let's stop for just a moment. Because we're very, very limited on time, we're going to wrap it up here. So what we're going to do is each group is going to come up with a very brief presentation about what they want to convince their manager to focus on, how they want their manager to change. Okay, so it's going to be very, very brief, about a 1-minute presentation. But work on the content. Why is this necessary? What's going to be the benefit? What is a very, very specific change
First
that
of all,
you want to
if our
see
manager
in
is
that manager?
Japanese,
Okay,
He's
and
not
let's
gonna
take
listen
about
to
3 or
me.
4 minutes to prepare that.
I mean, that's the first problem right there.
Well, I
Like,
think,
if we have a solution, you have a solution, you have a solution. And we want to present him, look, we have
It
this great idea. Well, the first problem is you can't do that.
makes each worker more effective
And it's
because
not in my company.
they don't feel so much pressure, so they have some control
Can you
over
write it
work.
down?
Yeah,
I personally believe everybody,
so how, like,
almost all
the
people
first
who
one
come
is
to
how we
work,
all, we
want
have
to do
great
a good
ideas.
job.
Because that's how we do work,
right?
we have great
You want to
ideas.
do, you are not just like, oh, you know, I want to, you know,
But
do 50%. You want to do 110% job.
I'm sorry?
But you,
like a lot of
um, but you're not
Of course,
allowed
it's millions of
to
dollars.
have any control.
Do you think your
Yeah.
company is
So,
the same?
That creates a lot of frustration, and what happens
The
is,
reason employees
Eventually,
they can
they
never
will
say anything
because
to
that
boss,
environment
or they can
doesn't
at least
change.
change.
So you'll go somewhere where you can't meet
I don't know.
or
My former, but
so if they want to retain their human
do not say
resources,
anything.
No, they don't, I mean, when they come in, they cook my coffee, they get my whiteboard ready, right, the Oslo was one. The middle one, and then when we go out, they all bow, you know, wow, what's going on, this is rockers.
So even
They're rockers.
so even you bring back
Oh,
coffee,
retention.
and before that
Yeah.
you reach to the someone who is
how
close
much
to
you're
your
doing.
boss and then brought the data with your coffee or whatever, and he still
Yeah,
doesn't.
no, no, you can't.
so,
That is a really problem.
Can't block the
So how would
boring
you? But
outage.
how would
That's,
you?
I got it, how this is what can be done. I, all years, I want to hear, because I have struggled with this for years.
e.g., I was going to say, or yeah.
Well, this is
Okay.
the reasons why, and by changing
Yeah.
so
It's-
it goes together.
It can be both.
Everyone else in the company,
Yeah.
Why we want to change
Yes.
many new
because it's
people.
not very nice.
Yes.
The problem of not doing
Come
it
and
is
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something like that.
We
Yeah.
all work on that, by the way, we all work.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I work
Because
in
it's
average
really
18
very
hours a day,
restricted
so
tradition.
7 days a week, so I work,
Yes.
like unless I go to
It's
some.
listed
And
and
also if there's
listed
retention.
But how is the starter work? Because it proves.
Facts, facts,
Yeah,
but,
together.
but, like, so that's how far we got now, so we say like, okay, we need change because you have red numbers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they all agree.
Yeah.
And then, like, so how we're gonna do that?
Also, there are many kind people there.
Yes.
You mean how
Yeah.
are we going to
Yes.
solve
To
this
make-
situation?
Yeah.
Even
Yes.
take
Right.
lunch
Right.
themselves.
But
Yes.
the thing is, he's so rich, so he doesn't care.
Take lunch or
Yeah.
Their
go
own
to sleep.
He
I
doesn't
think
care.
your boss is one
Yeah,
of
so
those.
what happens is people are
Yeah.
constantly going.
But I think I
No,
see
no,
this, this
no,
just
no,
means
no.
I see this all the time. I see this when I go out in the States and doing
not valued there.
that, you know, I have this great Shannon, like, you know, we have this great
As we
product.
put our presentation together, let's think about these 4 questions. What is the challenge that you see in the management? What is the negative impact from what that person's doing? How are you going to change it? And what's going to be the benefit
I'm not the
when you can make that change happen?
Ah, okay.
So maybe instead of focusing on like the red numbers, the negativity, maybe it's an idea to like focus on how we can become even more good.
Yeah, that's very, very Western.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Like
it does not work.
focus.
You guys not ready?
Yes, ready.
Good.
Ready.
You guys close?
So
I'm sorry.
We need a couple of months to be ready.
Yeah.
You've got a couple
I
of
mean, especially like, you know, if you
decaseconds is what you
this
have.
solution would be like Pandora's box and we would all be millionaires
Yeah,
Well,
right
it's
now.
maybe like pressure
Yeah, it
external
just says,
stakeholders.
reason is
That
not
doesn't
among
work
the
as well.
questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see just how creative we've all been in what's been about 20 minutes of discussion. Who'd like to go first? Andrew, please.
All right. The challenge is the strategy versus tasks.
Yes?
So the negative impact in our case study, real life case study, is there's a lot of employee turnover.
Ah.
People quit every month, they
Right.
hire new people, and they quit because it's very restricted in terms of how you can work. You must work in this very specific way. You have no choice.
Very frustrating.
How are you going to change it? What would happen if, just for one day or 1 week, you let your employees choose how to fulfill the goal? What if you just did that for 1 day? You had the bravery to do that. It's possible.
It's interesting.
The benefit might be greatly reduced employee turnover. And more and satisfied employees yield higher quality product. The end.
Absolutely, because you're talking about empowerment, delegation and empowerment, and letting people take responsibility, have the accountability for achieving the results.
There's no cost to letting your employees choose their priorities for 1 day. No cost.
Pretty cool. Thank you. Who's next?
Okay.
There are no loud Americans at this table.
So, the problems we talked about was, what was it? Oh, the process-oriented versus result-oriented.
Yes, yeah.
The one Andrew mentioned.
Yeah.
A lot of us have faced with a situation like that, and especially, so what is it? So the negative impact that could make is, well, it's pretty obvious when it comes to the numbers, and for example, if it's obvious if you take the current process and the number will be negative on the project, you have to make the change right away.
Right.
You have to make the you have to get the approval from your boss. But your boss will be saying, no, it should be okay. Just keep going and
Just keep doing it.
yeah, and just see how it goes. Something like that. So the approach we thought about is before you talk to your boss, okay, make a coffee. Make a good mood.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good approach.
And also with your data, gathering all the facts
Yes.
that it's obviously going to be negative
Yes.
by taking the current process.
Yes.
And even before that, if he or she is approachable, you can talk with someone who is close to your boss. Right, exactly. And try to tell him or her beforehand, ask him or her to convince him. And
So what's the benefit if we can do all of this?
we actually couldn't talk that far,
Well,
but
tell us.
it's obvious that we can, if it's successful, we can definitely avoid the negative numbers
Right.
on as a result of
Right.
the project. So
What other benefits are there?
benefits of avoiding the negative numbers. You mean?
Of being able to change from
That this
process
is a
to
very
results.
Japanese way of dealing with the issue, because that's
Yeah.
the thing we have been talking here about, challenges that we face.
Mm.
But the solutions must be based on things that they can actually adapt and use. Because if we come with great solutions, that's not going to fall into good soil. You have to find a way that works here.
That's right. Right. That's right.
Opens room for innovation.
That's right. Could do
And
that.
especially if you make it aware that, look, this idea came from here and here. Then if you make that awareness happen, then it actually is like open up that sometimes it's good. So that could be a precursor.
Yeah, you might
To
be
your
changing
thing?
the culture.
Yeah.
Right, so you can actually infiltrate change culture by doing it the Japanese way. But I don't know, still
It's
trying.
exciting stuff. I like it. Very good. All right. How about you guys?
So right, we did that like same topic,
Yeah.
result, not process oriented, and like, and mainly like we actually talk about the benefits. from
Good. It
this.
is good benefits.
So like nowadays, like the Japanese big task for the Japanese company is like attracting like foreign talent. So even the country itself is always doing like out of policy to just bring into like out of foreigner to stay here more. So like if the organization transform into like more result oriented,
Right.
this definitely the benefit is like the retention
Mhm.
and also like more like people, like foreigners, are willing to work for the
Yes.
Japanese organization
Yeah.
than now, and also can compete with like other like multinational companies. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Good stuff. So let's take a moment. Let's remind ourselves of everything we learned from Aiko earlier this evening. If we could implement the kinds of changes in thinking and the changes in corporate culture that you're describing, how would that impact relations with Silicon Valley? What is it?
Silicon Valley, Simi Valley is the wine here.
Silicon Valley organizations. Does it open or close the door?
Okay.
Open.
Why does it open the door?
It's more open-minded, it's more flexible,
Okay.
it's more lateral thinking.
Do the organizations in Silicon Valley focus on results? Do they focus on the big picture? Right? That is an enormous element of that culture. And by getting both sides of the equation focusing on the results, you can find things in commonality that you're willing to do together. You know, you were going to
I just wanted to give some really positive, like a good idea, practical thing. There's a book out there called The Quiet Comeback. It's written or comprised by Casey Wall. And it's actually, there's both an English copy and a Japanese copy.
Okay.
And what I had all my managers do at the company is that I forced them to read the Japanese version. Because it is Japanese startup people. It's Japanese, all of them, who came to Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
some of them. And it's, because you cannot, I'm always going to be gaijin, right? So if you cannot reach out, if really I have by proxy, it's almost like I say my voice by proxy.
It's important.
Because there is the in-group, out-group thing.
Yes.
So by having Japanese people speak my voice or my idea, it's a much better way than me trying, because you can put your head in the wall doing this over and over again.
Yes.
It's not going to change anything until a Japanese person comes with the idea.
Absolutely. And there's no doubt, and JIC has a lot of experience now working internally with organizations
Yeah,
to get
you have to do
them to commit to
Yeah.
what they're going to do differently. And we may provide the support, we may provide some of the infrastructure, we may provide some of the brain food to get them on the right path. But until they make that decision and recognize what the benefit is,
Right.
then they're not going to get on board unless it's their idea and they think it's
The
gonna work.
interesting thing is that all the Japanese startup people pretty much are saying is that they wish to collaborate more with Silicon Valley people.
Yeah.
But they want to do it their way.
Right.
They want to do it their way, and they're going to do it their way.
Which again is one of the reasons why this kind of get-together is so important, because we need to understand their way, and we need to understand how our way backs up against it, and what we need to do, what they need to understand what they need to do to work more successfully with us in Japan, and we in Japan need to understand what we need to do to approach them more appropriately, which is all about what J Global is about, right? Understanding both the strengths of the Japan side and also the strengths of the non-Japan side, and where we have good points in common, where we can focus on our strengths.
And understand the complexity of the non-Japanese. It's not a binary situation.
But Americans are all simple and stupid. It's not.
Right.
Definitely not.
Exactly.
We've proven that.
From IKEA and the Volvo point of view,
Right,
yes.
we've proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're actually dumber than the British who voted for the Brexit. Okay, so it's 9:30. Thank you all for your participation, your energetic and active involvement. This is what creates global cultural relations. So let's keep it up. Hope to see you at the next event.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh yes, and something from Christine. Yes, please.
Oh, yes.
Just the last comment. So here we've got satisfaction survey, so for us to Kaizen all the time.
Yes.
So please let us know if you have any comment. And also this was the event for end of 2016 and then the new list for 2017. It's not online yet. And also just presenting our passport. So we are organizing lots of different events. So like today is a country forum talking about different business cultures. Yesterday we had a marketing forum, for example, oriented for marketing, and we also have like business skills workshops. So many kind of events. So if you want to meet new people and get some new skills, please join us. And we've got a passport where you can